If you want to connect, put the handle on the profile there as well. So this is what we will be talking about today. The importance of setting yourselves goals. How to measure your advertising campaigns and your website when you have different track systems, and what to look for in your reports if you have somebody else actually compiling your reports, or if you actually do it yourself. How the job seekers journey will help you understand what you can track and measure, and certain things that you can and can't. And we'll also be talking specifically about some tracking tools and some techniques that will actually help you achieve the goals that you actually set yourself before you start your campaign. Advertising, fantastic way. Not everything that counts can be counted. Not everything that can be counted counts. Certain things actually we can't count, that we actually don't know about. There's a whole load of stuff that actually we see in reports, that we see in data that is generated, actually doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter because we've set ourselves goals. And what we usually do before starting a campaign is actually set up a measurement framework. Now, this could sound common sense to you, but by setting up a measurement framework, it actually makes you sort of set up and think about what you actually want to achieve from a particular campaign that you've going to run, a particular website that you've set up. We have instances of a particular client that has many splash pages, many websites. And one of them is a one-page website. Now, all that page has to do is direct job seekers in the right direction. So really the goal of that particular website is to direct people come from one place to go to another place. So there's no engagement, there's no interaction, that's all that website needs to do. We're very lucky in the recruitment world where really the goals that we are that we set ourselves are actually quite few. If you think about the e-commerce world, people want to track how many widgets, blue widgets have been sold, how many people have actually signed up for a particular marketing database, and so on and so on. Actually, in the recruitment world, the goals that we set ourselves are actually quite few. And this could be a measurement framework that we could use. Business objective: recruit new employees. Goal: reduce cost per hire. The KPI could be the number of applications by source, by medium in terms of collateral and interviews, and by cost. And the target is to reduce cost per hire by X amount. That could be that actually what you want to do is recruit employees in HR, or instead of reducing your cost per hire actually is finding your cost per hire because maybe you don't know it already. So this is what you can measure, the 3 data streams, and you'll all be familiar with these. Your advertising campaigns, your website, and your applicant tracking system. Let's go back to basics a little. What to measure in an advertising campaign, and this is really about advertising effectiveness. You display inventory, so your banners and your buttons, and you track those and you measure those by impressions versus clicks, which generates click-through rate. Your own-based inventory, your listings and your profile, so it could be on your profile page, it could be a listing on your job board, so we're tracking clicks, the number of emails sent, and for this we actually look for 3 metrics: number of emails sent, number of emails received and actually opened and read, and then the number of clicks that particular email is actually received. When it comes to pay-per-click campaigns, whether it's Facebook or Google, that expression is again versus clicks, so click through it. And you can track social media as well. So when it comes to tweets, Facebook posts, LinkedIn group activity, so if you post a job up on the group within LinkedIn, you post an update or status update on your profile, all of those can be tracked and can be measured all the way back to your website and your FPS. Of course, last but not least, you can actually measure and track brand engagement, which we won't. So what to look for in the website statistics? There's a whole lot of things that you can actually do, but let's talk about site engagement. So page views, time on site, brand interaction. If you have a share button on your website, so if you have content that actually can be shared in social media, you can actually track how many times and where that content is shared in social media. Whether on-site tools have been used, so do you have a career mapping tool on your website? You can actually look at how that's been used. Are there any documents that can be downloaded? So application pack, for example, how many times has it been downloaded? And if you have a website that is actually integrated with your applicant tracking system, and you have jobs that are integrated within your website, you can actually look at, do they search for a job, have they searched for a job, do they click for it? Big warning, some media work better than others, you can probably get that. Track offline media might be more successful than you think. This is really, really, really important. One particular example of this is a campaign that we've done recently for a client. And before we even started the online campaign, what we did was set up a completely new splash page, completely new website, a completely new URL, where it wasn't even present in Google searches. And what we did was we put out a newspaper advert in a national newspaper. And what we found is that versus the 30 online touch points that that particular campaign had, versus the newspaper advert, 56% of visits we could automatically track onto online, but actually 31% of visits came from the national newspaper advert. How do we know that? We know because we placed the advert 10 days before any online inventory was actually placed, and we can assume and we can actually attribute all the visits to that particular website to the newspaper advert. And when it comes to cost, actually we see that offline was more or less half of the online portion of the campaign. Actually the cost was half as well. So this myth that print costs more than online, actually you can see that roughly the same cost that drives roughly the same amount of traffic. Track social media, it might be less successful than you actually think versus all your other types of inventory. And this is because if you track the source of visitors that you used to arrive at the website, we can identify the media that actually drives the most active job seekers. Large number of visitors or a high click-through rate doesn't impact publications. And we had a particular example with another client who ran a very successful project campaign where the website that drove the most engaged visitors with a very high click-through rate on their emails, large number of clicks, large number of listings, actually generated no visitors to their job search page. So it doesn't mean that particular media actually drives a large number of visitors. It wouldn't necessarily equate to applications. Measure your ATS's performance. This is what you should expect, and this is the third in the dentistry that we talked about earlier. What you should expect your ATS to do. Measure your ATS performance, drop-off rates. It should tell you where people are dropping off in the application process. It should also tell you the rejection rates and your hire rates. And also, can it accept third-party source referral parameters? And this is really, really, really important. And most do. And we'll look at why this is important in the slides to come. Not all collateral medium works, so not all mediums are created equal or work perfectly straight out of the box. So one thing that we should really ask ourselves, this is a list of things that we should really ask ourselves before starting the campaign. What format are emails sent? Emails are one of the most successful traffic drivers in any campaign. On average, HTML emails actually achieve 8 times the click-through rate. So hopefully everybody should be okay with what a text-only email looks like and what a HTML email looks like. How easy is it to find your profile page? go to the website where that front page is actually hosted, how easy it is to find. If it isn't easy to find, chances are that it won't work. Where are your banners displayed? And we found that actually adverts, banners, skyscrapers, and things that are placed on a sector homepage perform a lot better than display inventory that is placed on a homepage of a website. Which keywords, when it comes to Google, or interests when it comes to Facebook, they use to reach a target audience. And we always have to remember that integrating Facebook requires a little bit more preparation than when it comes to Google. With Google, we can do some automatic integration with websites and Google AdWords. Which social media channels are you using? Optimize to get the best out of your campaigns. This is something that we do, but we don't do as much, but we should do a lot more. And this is sort of a mantra that I've been trying to drum into all of the agency team. Benchmark, test, optimize, create a baseline, count, measure, track what we do, what you're doing at the moment. Because that's the only way that you can actually have a starting point that then you can actually optimize on. So constantly, one of the things that we use the most is emails. So constantly optimize emails over the life of a campaign. If you have a campaign which lasts a few months and you have emails as part of your advertising inventory, track different versions. What we found, for example, is that adding an apply button that seems quite simple and quite common sense, but actually not everybody does it. Adding an apply button to emails doubles your click-through rate. The more links you put in an email, maybe you want to advertise, you want to send an email to a very wide audience, and you want to include several more links. The more links you put in, the less people are inclined to click. Test and automatically optimize your creative. And this is something that we can do as part of our ad serving technology. We can actually automate the adverts that we send out for you and show only the ones that attracts the most clicks. So, this is probably where it's going to get more interesting for most of you. This is a typical map of what a job seeker's journey would take. And I recognise there's quite a few in the room, quite a few of you from different companies, and this particular map might not be applicable for you. So it's always good to actually sit down and understand where that job seeker is going to start their journey, where actually they're going to end up. And this is a very typical setup for most companies. So e-shops, listings, pay-per-click banners, social media, all pointing onto your website, and then there's usually a big old link somewhere on the page that says apply here, and then those job seekers will actually end up in your applicant tracking system. One of the solutions that we implemented for our clients, and it's something that you can do as well, is implement Google Analytics campaign tags. If you have Google Analytics on your website, you can actually use Google Analytics campaign tags to segment the traffic within your analytics report. So you actually have a look in your analytics campaigns, in the sources. You will actually see segmented within the traffic from a particular campaign. In this particular example, we've looked at graduates, a campaign called Graduates 2010. So we can actually segment the traffic within your Google Analytics report by using Google Analytics campaign tags. So we actually see in your website, in your traffic, how are people responding to your site, engaging with your site,